Hello and welcome to this another update on what happened in today's gaming development stream. So we started off the day by rolling the random wheel of development to see what features I'd be working on today, and what I came up with was seasons. So a couple of interesting things happened with seasons. I'll open up the object so we can have a little look at it. Basically, what I ended up doing was saying, um, I want to borrow a mechanic from Northgard, which is that you get two. Northgard, as with this, you get two seasons. During the winter season, food production is significantly decreased, really significantly decreased. And I'm actually borrowing that, and I'm going to exaggerate it even further because my seasons, I've got two seasons, one they each run for 6 months, which is quite a long time in game. So I've got this winter food adjustment, which is initially set to be 40%. So basically, we're saying our farms are 40% less efficient in the winter. And the point of that is it forces the player to think about um, what time of year it is and where do you want to put your families. Do you want to, more in terms of they're going to get more out of them if you work in the farms in the summer, so they can work the farms in the summer, build up a, um, a large supply of food to last through the winter. Basically, that's the most efficient way to do things. But the challenge with that, how much food are you going to get out of them, really? Um, so that was what I was working towards. I think this is going to have that dynamic effect. It still needs to be balanced, but I think it's just going to be one more challenge to throw at players in this game that they're going to have to think about. And it's going to, they're going to hit right out of the gate um, because these seasons will kick in really soon in. But yeah, I was pleased with that. We got seasons rolling, we got that put in, and that led me to thinking about families, and in particular about happiness. So the way I implemented this winter food adjustment was through the families, and while I was there, I thought, well, let's sort out happiness as well because we're working with that now. The mechanics for happiness I hadn't really established beforehand. Initially, they were just sort of basically a replica of what food is. Uh, they get consumed or destroyed, and you've got a consumption or production amounts, and those are compared. And if you've got more consumption than production, etc. What I've changed this to is every individual family is going to have its own happiness rating. So it's not done on an island level; it's done on an individual um, family level. That calculation is done based on basically what hex they're in. So if their hex is, for example, mine, then I can apply a happiness decrement so that they start going down, their happiness starts reducing over time. Or similarly, if I put them next to a coliseum or whatever, then happiness starts going up over time. And similarly, I can get AoE effects are already sort of built in, and I can get those to work properly as well. So it's really going to be a bit of a thing to get all these. Um, some families will go towards, it's another thing to manage. It's a whole other mechanic. And whilst I was about it, I fixed up the ways that the luxury goods work. So at the moment, luxury goods just sort of apply and they would shift the island happiness up. But if you're switching to a family based happiness, that doesn't really work. So you have to think about find the least happy family and apply some luxury goods to them and give them a big bonus in terms of their happiness. And that's what I've got in. Um, whilst I was about it, I thought about the happiness, and I came to the conclusion that it might be a good idea if there is an island-wide happiness, which is just an aggregate of the individual families. And the only reason, well, a couple of reasons that exists. One, it can give, I can tie narrative hooks to that. Say, overall, your island is very happy, um, and therefore some events happen, or overall your island is very unhappy, and therefore certain other events happen. I figure that would be a good idea, and that's the figure you see on the screen in the main game screen in the GUI. You can see your overall island happiness. I think that's quite important. And the way I adjusted that was to say basically, because I didn't want it to say, you, I didn't want it to be if you had an average of the overalls, because I wanted to say, well, you can have some unhappy families, or rather, I wanted to be able to get a game over by getting to zero overall happiness, not by having zero happiness in all your families, but by saying overall your families are so unhappy. So they have an average happiness basically of 30, then game over. everyone quits your island, you lose your position. So if we zoom in, it's still labeled with a health symbol at the moment. I still need to sort that out, but that's basically it. And the way the inventory works now, so if you use the luxury goods, it actually picks one of the family with the lowest happiness and applies some luxury goods to them, which was a big improvement. So yeah, that was good progress. And then the final thing I did, I started importing this new house resource. So basically, the idea is it's just a building you can build quite easily. It just costs a bit of wood, and what it does is it homes one of your families, and it fits in with the theme of the whole development theme, because this is going to generate a passive benefit without needing to be worked. And perhaps maybe certain noble families will require houses to move in. I haven't worked out how exactly that will work yet, but it's just another thing for the player to manage. Where are where families living? Because they can live on their work site, at their stone mine. They can live there, sort of amongst the workbenches or whatever, or in tents. But it's much nicer if you can build them proper, in this case, wooden houses to live in. So that's what I've set up here. I'm quite pleased with that, and we'll see where we go from there. So yeah, um, thank you all for joining me for this little update, and yeah, see you all soon. Thank you.